Hello everyone and welcome to Music Theory with GUIM. In this installment we're going to take a brief look at Sad Song from Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo. Before we get into any music theory, however, let's take a listen to the music. In this analysis, we're primarily going to be digging into the harmony and its design. That said, we will spend a bit of time looking at the melody, but mostly as a way to confirm our harmonic analysis. If you're interested in learning more about the melody, be sure to stick around until the end to find out how you can do that. So the theme is set in the key of A-flat minor and begins with the progression of A-flat minor to E-flat major, or 1 to 5. This occurs twice before proceeding to A-flat major and measure 5. In this case, A-flat major is used as a dominant emulation meant to intensify a progression to D-flat minor, the 4 chord. You can think of the A-flat major as an altered 1 chord or as a secondary dominant, specifically A5 of 4. Following D-flat minor, the harmony progresses to G-flat major, the flat 7, C-flat major, the flat 3, F-flat major, the flat 6, B-flat diminished, the 2 diminished, and lastly, E-flat major, the 5, which then becomes E-flat 7, the 5-7. It is worth noting that in measures 3 and 11, there is the potential to place additional chord labels. This is because we have the notes that spell out a D-flat minor over A-flat and A-flat minor over E-flat respectively. I have opted to omit these chords from the analysis because I hear them as being strictly decorative, making no significant contribution to the harmony. This does not mean that they have no value whatsoever. I simply view them as being purely for the sake of intrigue and not meant to guide the harmony in any way. Structurally, this progression is an embellishment of the 1 to 5 progression, and those harmonies are found in measures 1, 10, and 11. Though the 5 chord appears on numerous occasions prior to measure 11, it is the final appearance of the 5 harmony that is structurally significant. This is because the opening 4 measures containing E-flat major use the 5 chord as a chord of prolongation, specifically the neighbor chord, which directly prolongs the 1 chord A-flat minor. And in measure 5, when we hear A-flat major, a sequential progression of descending fifths begins and lasts until measure 10 when we hear B-flat diminished. This chord signifies the end of the sequence and, as a result, is given higher structural value, whereas those occurring prior are chords of prolongation intended to extend the tonic area. Now, if you know your intervals, then you might be wondering why B-flat diminished signifies the end of the sequential progression, especially since B-flat diminished to E-flat major and even E-flat major to A-flat minor creates a descending fifth progression. And if this is true, then why are they not considered to be part of the sequence? In order to answer this question, we need to consider not only the harmony, but the melody as well. Notice that a 2-measure melodic unit is being transposed or sequenced from the time we hear A-flat major up until B-flat diminished. Not only does the melodic contour remain the same, the unit consistently is transposed down by a descending second. When we arrive to B-flat diminished, however, we hear a slight change in design. Like measures 6 and 8 forming a 4-3 suspension atop D-flat minor and C-flat major, we do hear a 4-3 suspension atop B-flat diminished. Unlike the others, however, when the suspension resolves, we hear additional notes. This, by itself, does not inherently mean the sequence has come to an end. Instead, it insinuates that change is coming, and the change that does come is what definitively ends the sequence. And that change is a descending leap of a fifth from C-flat to F-flat, breaking the melodic transposition, followed by a melodic idea that contrasts the preceding sequence significantly. So this is why E-flat major is separated from the sequential progression. It marks a significant change in design, despite the continuation of a descending fifth root progression. And with the 5th chord being responsible for ending the theme, we have ourselves a half cadence. Typically, cadential progressions will use melodies that are descending in direction so as to bring a fuller sense of closure and relaxation. In this case, the melody does the opposite by ascending with a stream of eighth notes, which elevates the level of energy and pushes us forward into the next playthrough. So overall, here is a straightforward example of a minor mode progression. It creates a strong sense of direction by establishing the tonality and the mode of the theme within the first 4 measures. It does so by sounding the neighbor chord motion of 1 to 5. From here, the harmony sets its sight on the 2 chord, but rather than progress directly from 1 to 2, we hear a sequential progression of descending fifths, delaying the 2 chord's arrival until measure 10. Once it does arrive, however, it proceeds straight to the dominant, which then sets up the theme for another playthrough. With these concepts in mind, let's take another listen to the theme, and then bring this episode to a close. For those of you that are patrons, you can expect to receive an exclusive analysis containing detailed thoughts on the melody regarding its use of chromaticism and its underlying structure. Before the video is filmed, however, I will leave time for you to submit any questions you have regarding this analysis or request for certain aspects of the theme to be addressed. For those of you that are not patrons but like to support the channel, be sure to click on the subscribe and like buttons and share this video as often as you can. And if you're wanting to take your support to the next level, hop on over to patreon.com/GUIM and consider pledging some coin. Creating these videos takes a lot of time and effort, and any support on your end is greatly appreciated. Either way, until next time, thank you for watching this episode of Music Theory with GUIM.